When I plan my attack, when I plan my attack, I doubt that you're ready. Rhymes like bullets penetrate your zone. One time on the MIC. When I plan my attack, I doubt that you're ready. Rhymes like bullets penetrate your zone. On the MIC.
Yeah. White on the track again, PPL is back again, coming for the Patty's twins, cause she the champion. It's the Pantheon Cup we all battle for. When rivals get to scrapping, it's a savage war. This is what we waited for. Finally, all the time is here. Fantasy is back, my favorite fucking time of year. Light your bloods is time now. PPL is live now. The show where shit gets real, dog. We're all after the pie now. Geno in the jet, he hosts the show, uploading videos. He does it all from A to Z. You like the league to pay the fee or win it all and play for free. Play to be the best or least. See, it's a league of competition. Still the crown, that's the mission. Dog, it's time to get it cracking, plan your moves and start attacking. PPL is back in action. Teams get mad, you know what happens. Hate each other, play with passion, build a team with trades and drafting. I think I done said my part. It's time for PPL to start.
When I plan my attack, when I plan my attack, I doubt that you're ready. Rhymes like bullets penetrate your zone.
All right, we are at the halfway point. PPL Live Week 7 is here. Interconference warfare is in its second week, and Omega, wave after wave, bomb after bomb, made a statement. But let's get into our Week 6 scores before we get into Week 7. Starting with the Argonauts, winning huge over the Skulls, 158 to 141. Patty's Twins keeps it going, declaring victory over Squad Underestimated and making it such, 123 to 79. Appease the Gods taunts the Mean Machine on their way to victory, 105 to 96. The United Players, the Destroyers, leave no doubt in one of the best performances of the season, beating the Baby Gas team 159 to 134. And the Gaff gets 2 in a row, beats last year's Pantheon Cup finalists Only for the Boss, 154 to 109. Alrighty, we're going to get into our fantasy trends. Final standing projections brought to you by Snickers. Starting at number 10, the Mean Machine. Can't get a win and getting clounced on the board. Number 9, the Baby Gas team. Number 8, the Gaff coming up. Number 7, we've got Patty's Twins. What's going on there? 6, Squad Underestimated. At 5, we've got Only for the Boss. At 4, we have Appease the Gods ascending to the heights. At number 3, we've got United Players, the Destroyers. 2, the Skulls. And at 1, the Argonauts. Alrighty. What do you think of those final standing projections, Ulysses?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some surprising movement, and I really think what these rankings, as I've looked at them throughout the season, and maybe I failed to do this early on, I think what they're really looking at is projected talent, and I think what we're seeing is really some movement for some teams that may need to make some trades,
right,
make some moves. Just feeling a little stagnant on some of these teams, and some of the teams that have been stagnant, you see they're still in the rankings. I'm looking directly at the Skulls.
Yeah.
You know, not have the best rollout, but I'm saying that the game is seeing that they got the talent to get this done. Some other people sliding, I'm not so sure.
Definitely, yeah. It's definitely looking at what they the potential of these teams are going down the stretch here, especially at the halfway point of the season. All right, man. So you know it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, man. Give it to me for Week 6. Give me a good, bad, and ugly, Ulysses.
Yeah, starting with good. I mean, it's got to be the Argo.
Okay.
A win against the princes of the draft is a good one. An interconference win against a potential playoff opponent and every other alpha team losing is a great week.
Right.
The Argo are officially in gap out mode, and it's week 7.
Yeah.
I see nobody slowing them up. Hand them the alpha conference title now.
Wow.
This Argo team has really gelled between Deke, Zach, and they've silenced all doubters. It's good for Argo right now.
All right, man. Let's hear your bad.
Bad, man. Squad had a bad week. Just ask the Twins, man.
Yeah.
They knew by Thursday night, according to the comments made by team management. You know, this squad team came into this game teary-eyed from just their second win of the season.
Right.
As promised, the Twins kept the tears flowing.
Wow.
I'm sure there was no shortness of bitterness or emotions.
Yeah.
So nothing went right for the squad, with D and HC combining for -6, adding true insult to injury. In particular, the running back position got worse. I mean, we were talking about McCaffrey, like, potentially coming back. Like,
right.
No, he's on IR.
Right.
So they lost him for the foreseeable. You know, they lose to a surging Gaff team this week, and things return to ugly for squad as playoff positioning is starting to come into focus.
Wow. And give me your ugly, man.
Ugly only for the boss.
Okay.
I mean, speaking of the Gaff, I mean, they help make things ugly for the boss.
Right.
You know, the boss is not getting enough consistency from their non-Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Diggs helps, but not getting Samuel out for someone playing, it killed this team's chances.
Right, Cleveland D.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that. I mean, that's happened to several teams, and that's landed them on my ugly list repeatedly. Like, don't check your lineup, you'll get in the ugly list.
Right.
You know, another reason I have the boss here is they play the UP, a team pacing the PPL.
High-powered.
Yeah, high-powered. You know, the UP have struggled against their top-tier PPL teams.
Yeah.
I'll be watching to see if the boss has anything to say about that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one to look at. Only for the boss, things could get ugly, but I think that he's got a chance to make things much better. My good is the other side of that matchup. I don't think it was only for the boss that was. I think even if Curtis Samuel would have got somebody in there, it wouldn't have mattered. My good is the Gaff. And it's 2 weeks in a row I've picked the Gaff. I know what this owner brings to the table. I know what this guy can do under pressure and under duress. He's a guy who likes to step up. He likes to make things happen, and he did that with these free agency ads, as well as his coach plays and defensive plays. Leonard Fournette had a big day, and I think that the Gaff may have found his rhythm, and it may be a problem for Alpha Conference teams the remainder of interconference warfare, starting with Squad underestimated your bad there. My bad is the Skulls, man, and it's not really bad, but it's bad just based on the criteria of losing. I mean, this team has put up 140 points plus 2 weeks in a row. And 2 weeks in a row, they've come out with L's. That's not something that's typical in the PPL. Typically, you get to 140, you're going to win in the PPL. And the Skulls, for whatever reason, I mean, obviously we know the reasons, but they just haven't been able to get those wins. A bad couple of weeks for the Skulls. I think things can get better for them. That's why they're only bad. But things have got to get better on their end. And my ugly, man, has got to be the Mean Machine. I mean, I hate to keep kicking a dead horse, but, man, you getting clowned on the boards. I mean, Appease the Gods is knowing that, hey, I'm not going to do much today, so I'm giving you a win here if you want to take it, and you still can't get it. I was disappointed just in the fact that it's all like he called your bluff, going back to a reference from a few years ago, and you came up empty. And I think at this point, we might be seeing the end of the Mean Machine. So that's my ugly. That being said, let's jump into our Week 7 matchups. Starting with a big one for Patty's Twins going up against the Mean Machine. All right, man. So here we go. Patty's Twins, Mean Machine. Two teams that have been to the top at one point in time. Two teams with totally different mindsets when it comes to the PPL. Patty's Twins, they want to clown you, they want to run you over, and they want to win every week. The Mean Machine is content. I guess it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. What do you think of this matchup, Patty's Twins and the Mean Machine?
Yeah, I mean, what's not to like about the Twins? I mean, they're on a 4-game win streak.
Right.
Fresh off smashing squad. Left no doubt on the message board. Only way things get better is a game against the hapless machine. The bye week, the bye will lead to some unconventional play time.
Right.
We're going to see that.
All across the league.
I mean, everywhere in the league this week. But this is one of the matchups where I don't see it hurting as much. I mean, losing Kareem Hunt matters.
Yeah.
Not this week, but it's going to matter.
Right.
And, you know, but the machine only has a shot to be competitive if Herbert is playing.
Okay.
And if he's in the lineup.
Right.
And he ain't. And so about the only thing I like for the machine is the Bucks D and head coach combo this week. You know, the Twins should have a field day. I've got them gapping out.
Okay.
114 to the Mean Machine's 81.
Wow. I mean, you didn't take much time at all doing this one. Typically, you have a little bit more to say. You were real quick there, Ulysses. I'm going to have to agree with you, though, man. Aaron Rodgers has a great matchup against Washington at home. You know Aaron loves to show out in Lambeau. He wants to own the league. He needs to get another ring to do that, and I think that he's trying to make that his mission. I like the Mark Ingram pickup by Patty's Twins on the bye week. This is a guy that's getting a lot of carries, a lot of touches, and no one's really paying attention to it. Even his projection's a little low. I mean, now he is a little touchdown dependent. He doesn't catch a lot of passes, but just the fact that he's going to get upwards to 20 carries is a great play for the Twins. I like Robert Woods. Sutton, she got in the trade with the Argo. I felt she got the better of the Argonauts in that trade. You rarely see the Argonauts get beat in a trade, although we'll see what Elijah Mitchell can do. But I love Sutton, and I think that the Twins also love him. He was a guy that they've had on their roster and have kept in the years past, so he's definitely a guy that they wanted to get back in that roster. And I like the Henry Ruggs play. I think that's going to be a fun play against Philadelphia in Las Vegas this weekend. On the machine side, man, I don't mind the Tua pickup because I think that game with Atlanta is going to be a high-scoring game. But I'm not inspired by anything else. Now, Miles Sanders could return to the lineup. The Raiders don't have a good running D. I expect that to be a high-scoring game, so that's somewhere the machine could profit. But, I mean, he hasn't even checked his lineup yet. He's become disinterested, and I don't blame him. I think the Twins will make him even more disinterested, and she might have something to say on the boards about it. I got Patty's Twins winning this matchup 124 to the Mean Machine's 99. And moving on to our next matchup, we go to our next interconference matchup of two teams that lost 2 in a row, but could easily have won those 2 in a row. Two teams that have scored over 130 plus the last 2 weeks and have both lost. But both of them need this victory as the Skulls take on the Baby Gas team. All right, man, I laid it out pretty much right there in what I described. The Skulls going up to BGT. Two teams obviously trending in the wrong direction as far as win totals, but trending in the right direction as far as scoring. The Baby Gas team a surprising 130 plus the last couple of weeks, but still couldn't get it done. And then the Skulls fall into the top 2 teams in the PPL, the Argo and the Appease the Gods. Both in spectacular fashion. What do you think of this matchup, Skulls, BGT?
Yeah, I mean, you really hit it. I mean, both these teams coming off really tough losses. I mean, you put up 134, you expect to win.
Right.
You put up 141, you expect to win.
Right.
You know, things have not gone as planned for either of these teams. I mean, Skulls, I mean, you know, they just hit you know, tough opponents in this last 3-game stretch.
Right.
Really, BGT, I mean, they've just been plagued by injuries.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just, again, misfortune.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what's going on with the BGT, but, I mean, they are consistently getting good play the last 3 weeks, month almost. And, again, had a little two-game bump there. But, anyway, I've got the Skulls getting back to their winning ways this week. You know, buys are hitting this matchup pretty hard. You know, I think that there's going to be a lot of waiver play here. You know, the Skulls lose Josh Allen for Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a risky play.
Right.
I think that they had a few better options. I mean, of all the teams in the league this year, I mean, a lot of people are talking about the Steelers drop off.
Right.
But man, what's going on in Atlanta?
Right. I mean, Julio's gone, man.
I mean, damn, like, we saw where the talent was like there. Like, nobody wants to touch that team with anything. So, you know, I like Tannehill against the Chiefs D. I mean, I talked about that a little bit earlier. But the problem with the BGT for me is the D and head coach plays. They haven't touched it yet, and there's not a lot of great options.
We're getting late.
You know, exactly. It's a little late for me. You know, I don't know where they're going to go yet, and I love the Skulls D. Got the Saints D against Seattle.
Right.
You know, head coach, you got the Cardinals against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you know, Cardinals are for real. So I think the Skulls are going to roll in those, like, tangentials. I don't think that they just get right this week.
Yeah.
I think the Skulls leaving, no doubt.
Whoa.
138 to the BGT's 110.
Okay. You know what? I don't like to predict leaving no doubt and things like that, but I mean, the projections have him leaving no doubt this week. So I mean, who are we to disagree, right? The BGT, it's the attention to detail. The owners who don't make claims during the week, who don't look at the free agency on Tuesday, they tend to pay the price when it comes down to last minute decisions. I'm talking about the Baby Gas team and only for the boss specifically. Right here, I'm looking at a team that's got 3 bye guys still in. I mean, I understand it's only Wednesday, but I've got to believe that the BGT has had to have looked at something. I know that losses start to accumulate, and that does tend to dishearten ownership. But at the same time, I mean, you can always keep it rolling, especially in interconference warfare, because we got a wild card round now. Wild card round is going to matter in interconference warfare. Wild card round has made interconference warfare so much more important that I feel like teams on the cusp have to get it done. And I don't see the BGT doing that. On the Skull side, I like the Matt Ryan play. Matt Ryan, I mean, he's going to throw for his yardage. He's going to get his TDs. Whether the Falcons win or lose, he's going to get yardage and plays. And he's got good receivers and an offense that moves up and down the field. So I don't mind that play there. Let's talk about Darrell Henderson Jr. This guy is turning into a top 5 running back. I'm calling that right now. The Rams are good at that position. They're good all across the board. But Darrell Henderson Jr. gives them a dynamic because he can receive and he can run between the tackles. This guy is a rare kind of commodity. I think that this is a keeper for the Skulls going down the stretch, and I think this is an easy win. I got the Skulls winning this matchup 141 to BGT's 115. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into a huge, high-scoring, high-powered matchup as the United Players, the Destroyers, takes on Only for the Boss. All right, man, Only for the Boss. I was a little disappointed in them last week, leaving Curtis Samuel in the lineup. This team is too good to make mistakes like that. This was a Pantheon Cup final this year, going up against the Pantheon Cup finals from the year before. These two teams have lost the last 2 Pantheon Cups, showing you the potential that both of them have. Obviously, they're 2 of the higher scoring teams in the league, Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady leading these lineups. What do you think, UP Only for the Boss?
Yeah, I've got the UP in this game, and for me, it comes down to matchup advantages. I'm just looking at this, and Tom Brady should have a strong day against Chicago. They were one of the few teams to get him last year, surprised everybody, and Tom likes to get revenge. They got demoralized last week, and I don't see how they're going to recover psychologically for what Tom Brady's going to bring.
Right.
I think Corey Davis may be a decent player. I know he's on the bench right now, but I think, just looking at the lineup, I mean, unless he picks
Corey's in.
I expect him to get in.
Corey's in.
He's in now. Okay,
yeah.
Good. He'll be playing from behind from New England. So,
okay.
I mean, they might get some garbage time there.
Right.
But, that's not why the UP win. The reason why they win is Derrick Henry.
Okay.
His utilization will hurt the Boss's production directly in real life. It's. I don't think it's going to be pretty. No one has been able to stop him.
No, sir.
No reason why the Chiefs will be able to find a way. I mean, this Bills team just went out and decimated the Chiefs, and Derrick Henry had a lot to say in the follow up.
Right.
And so I think Tennessee realizes they win behind Henry, and they kill that clock. They keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, and I don't like the Boss's Browns D play, mainly because I don't know if they have any running backs, and they're starting QB next week.
Yeah.
So the D will be on the field often Sunday. I've got the UP in a close one here, 132 to 127.
I think this is the first one we're going to probably have to go in opposite directions on. I'm going to go with the Boss here, man. I like the J.D. McKissick play. Whether Antonio Gibson plays for Washington or not this week, especially if not, I'll love the J.D. McKissick play even more. I like Only for the Boss's roster. I mean, they're replacing Stephon Diggs with Deebo Samuel, who's getting Jimmy G back. Jimmy G's obviously the more polished QB. He's going to be able to get the ball to Deebo. I think Deebo's going to have a pretty good game against the Colts. Calvin Ridley returns to the lineup. I think that Atlanta-Miami game, I talked about it before, I think it's going to be high scoring. And I think that the McKissick plays a good win outside of the Chiefs that he's going to bring to the table. Now, on the United players side, I agree with you, man. I think that the Bucks are going to win that game. But pass rush matters in the NFL, and I think that the Chicago pass rush can make Tom a little uncomfortable. They even made Aaron a little uncomfortable before he gapped out for that late touchdown that give him a respectable line. Tom doesn't have those kind of wheels, so we're going to see how that's going to work out. I'm with you, though, on the Derrick Henry thing, but one man is not going to win a fantasy matchup. Henry is definitely a beast. He's gonna definitely give it all he's got. And the Chiefs aren't going to have any way of really stopping him. But I also think the Chiefs have the opportunity to grab an early lead and maybe make Tennessee have to throw the football. So that might limit Derrick Henry's production. Cooper Kupp is a guy that we can't blink at, obviously. And Chris Godwin's an awesome play at any point in time because he can get something from Tom. But I'm not seeing Gronk in the lineup. That was a big X factor for the United players. And while I do think Corey Davis is an okay play, I mean, the last time my boy Zach Wilson played the Patriots, he threw 4 picks. So I'm not sure about any receiver on the Jets right now. I've got the only for the boss getting back on track, making a statement, giving Alpha Conference a little bit of pride here. 134 to the United players, 131. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into a crucial season-defining matchup, a matchup that I would put as the prestige matchup of the week, but neither of these teams really deserve it. So let's be real. We got the Gaff taking on Squad Underestimated. All right, man, so I laid it out right there. The Gaff has won their last 2 after starting 0-4. Squad won their first matchup, lost 3, won 1, lost another one. They're both sitting at 2-4 pretty much. They're the same team. We never would have thought this coming into the season based on what the Gaff was dealing with keepers and his draft, and what Squad had as far as keepers trades and his draft. So what do you think of this matchup, man? This is a topsy-turvy, bizarro world kind of matchup, you know. What do you think, the Gaff versus Squad Underestimated?
Yeah, I mean, I actually do think this is my prestige matchup of the week. I just think it's on the line here.
Okay.
One team walks away looking like they're in the hunt for it.
Right.
The other's not impressing me. You know, the Gaff were a goal line stand away from leaving no doubt last week.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and this team was in the skids a few weeks ago.
Right.
And you know, I said it.
Weekly getting clowned on PPL Live. Weekly ugly.
And it was bad.
Right.
And they did exactly what we said they would do. They were going to go on that waiver wire. They were going to get into free agency.
Right.
You just made in the previous matchup. They're the ones benefiting while these other teams are messing around. The Gaff's getting talent and some depth and realizing like
waking up at 5 in the morning, even after the wire, bro.
Well, and even once you've made a bad decision, don't die on that hill.
Right.
Pivot. Get out of there. Don't throw good money after bad. And I'm just seeing a lot of other teams not taking it. So, you know, not to go down that too far, but
right.
Yeah, I'm on your point. Guys just need to look at what's happening. You know, we acknowledge what the Squad did last week.
Yeah.
I've got Gaff re-entering the playoff hunt this week. I say that because the Gaff is the scrappier team this week.
Okay.
You know, all teams will be trying to find their diamond in the rough in free agency. I trust the Gaff's history in doing that this week. You know, he find a winning HC, and I think they go this week.
Okay.
Squad has real problems. The biggest is the injuries to the RB position. I mean, Cam Akers had, not even all season. Again, McCaffrey, it's just been, you know, a theme, and it's not what he needs. And let's be real. You know, Alvin Kamara and Pitts had weeks last week that the squad needed. Kyler's impressive in every measure, and still, like, it was not impressive anyway.
Yeah.
You know, Kamara's not the guy they traded for. Like like Drew Brees.
You mean we're giving?
It hurt his value on that team more than anybody else's, and I mean we're seeing that. You know, Squad should win this game. But I think their old friend inconsistency shows up again. I've got the Gaff 118 to the Squad's 115.
Man. Man, this is the toughest matchup of the week. I can agree with where you would want to put them as the prestige matchup of the week, but 2-4 against 2-4 is not prestigious. So let's not even go there. You know what? I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with the Gaff. This guy is my good the last few weeks. I've been impressed with his hustle, and I like an owner that hustles. You know me, I love the owners who want to scrap. I loved the comeback kids when they were in the league. Why? They scrapped. I love Squad Underestimated in their earlier years. Why? They scrapped. I love the Gaff right now. Or the Gaff through their history. They've always scrapped. And I think that they're going to scrap here. I like the Leonard Fournette play. He's really starting to really establish himself as the back in that offense in Tampa Bay. Ronald Jones is really starting to become phased out if you're paying attention. Leonard Fournette is the breadwinner, and he's starting to eat because he's a great player in his own right. He's one of the better running backs Tom Brady's had in a while, actually. Darrell Williams for Kansas City. That was the sneaky thing that won him that matchup, I thought, with Only for the Boss, was that he augmented the Kansas City scoring into his favor. That's veteran play. That's why the Gaff has won 2 Pantheon Cups. This guy knows what to do and when to do it, and that showed itself last week. I like D-Hop and Antonio Brown. I like the Ricky Seals-Jones pickup. There's nothing not to like. Even Hunter Renfrow, this is a guy who gets fed in the slot route for the Raiders. There's nothing not to like about the Gaff except that he doesn't have a coach. And maybe he feels he doesn't need a coach. And that might be something that, you know, because Patty Twins did the same thing. They didn't feel like they needed a coach against Squad Underestimated. So maybe that's saying something.
They didn't.
Yeah, that's saying something in itself. On Squad side, man, all the scoring potential's there. I don't understand. We got Kyler Murray. We got, I mean, even Chuba Hubbard, for every week, I'm seeing him projected for 14, 15, 16, like he's a top #1 running back. I like the Jalen Waddle play. Jalen got fed last week in that game in London. And I think that continues because, obviously, I don't think that Tua has much faith in many other guys out there if you're really watching the game. Marquise Hollywood Brown, coin flip. That's either, I mean, that's a boom or bust if there ever was one. I think Kyle Pitts is actually starting to find his way, Ulysses. I'm going to disagree with you on that. Alex Collins, he's dealing with a glute hip issue. I'm not really sure. And the Baltimore play, I think that Cincinnati game could get high scoring, man. I don't know. Carolina's not showing what they showed earlier in the season, man. Yeah, I got the Gaff.
Well, it's McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey not playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally changed that dynamic.
It's changed the dynamic everywhere for Squad Underestimated, and that's why I have the Gaff, bro. I got the Gaff winning this matchup, 121 to Squad Underestimated's 110. And moving on to our prestige matchup of the week. We have the best teams in the PPL squaring off. Omega's top against Alpha's top. Athens against Sparta. Appease the Gods versus the Argonauts. All right, man. So I said it all right there, basically. These are the 2 best teams in the PPL. Founding ownership. What do you think of this matchup? ATG rolling in with the league MVP so far, Lamar Jackson, going against the decimated Argonauts. They did this. Besides Devontae Adams, I don't see a regular starter amongst them. What do you think of this one, man? ATG Argo.
I'll tell you what I think. I think no Dak, no Zeke, no Dalvin, or no Najee. You know, no matchup is more disrupted by the bye week this week than this matchup.
True.
You know, the Argo are going to be playing with scraps at key positions. We don't even know in some regards.
Right.
I mean,
it's question marks.
Current personnel. I mean, they're going with some streamers, and you know they're going to potentially have to give up some serious talent for those scraps.
Right.
So I think the Argo are realists.
Okay.
And understand that running the table is not the goal. They've beaten every other playoff competitor except the Twins, and they have them next week.
Right.
Everybody's back. The Argo know that if ATG is for real, they'll be playing them again, but I think that they make choices to keep them rolling next week.
Okay.
So ATG has no reason not to win this matchup. I
Okay.
mean, they sit atop Omega.
Right.
They've had a solid season, and when that fails, they've been lucky, and that's not a bad combo.
Right.
You know, they're still missing Saquon and Robinson, but they have their MVP on the field, and Joe Mixon is showing that he's for real, man. He's really established himself in that backfield, and the young quarterback trusts him. He's getting it in both the running and the passing game, so he's really hitting a stride. I mean, they've got some problems in other areas, but again, you look at the injuries and the bye week consideration for the Argos, you know, both should have big days out of their Ds and head coach picks, as I see.
Right.
But I think it just comes down to that bye week. And
right.
I got the ATG actually winning comfortably, 133 to the Argos 119.
All right, man. I agree with you. I think the ATG is going to win this matchup, but don't underestimate the pride of the Argonauts. I don't know if they're going to sit back and just play dead, but at the same time, you're right in the long term. They probably just should. Looking at this matchup, I like the Derek Carr play against Philadelphia. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Jalen Hurts is going to actually challenge that Raiders D a little bit with his legs, and it's going to force the Raiders to have to open up their offense a little bit. I like Elijah Mitchell also on Sunday night against the Colts. I think he's carving out his role as the #1 running back in that Niner offense. Trey Sermon didn't get many snaps, but at the same time, with Kyle Shanahan, you never know. This is basically the week Devontae Adams is the quarterback of the Argo. Let's just be real here. If he can come out with a 30+ point kind of game, which we know he's capable of, that'll keep the Argonauts in it because they have good D play. They got a good coach play. And if the other guys can kind of contribute, they have a chance to hang in this one. Let's just remember, ATG only scored 105 with a 20-point coach win last week. So their scoring hasn't been up, although I do love Lamar and Joe Mixon. I think that they're going to have a great game against each other. And then Brandon Cooks, he's become one of the most underrated plays on a weekly basis in the PPL. His target share in that Texans offense is probably one of the largest in the league. So that Brandon Cooks play is golden. The only thing I'm questioning on ATG side really is the Allen Robinson play. I mean, I would probably look somewhere else there. But other than that, I think that ATG should get this win. The Argonauts aren't going to play dead. I think they'll find a way to get a running back and tight end somewhere into their lineup. But I don't think it'll be enough. This is definitely a week that the Argonauts are going to have to punt. And ATG should roll into the top spot in the entire PPL. I got Appease the Gods taking over the #1 seed in the league, 128 to the Argonauts, 117. Alrighty, PPLers, thanks for another great week of PPL Live. We get started tomorrow night with the defenseless Cleveland Browns. They have really no one in their lineup. We'll see if the Denver defense can help ATG, or if Sutton can get some big yardage for Patty's Twins. And of course, we'll close out on Monday night with the Seahawks and the Saints. We'll see if that defense for our boy the Skulls can help him close out his matchup. You guys have a good one.